This is a message to anybody out there who's convinced that Kallmanns syndrome is not intersex and is stating it on YouTube. Well, the thing is, intersex, by the medical definition, it doesn't incorporate every single person that I personally think is intersex. So when I talk about intersex from my own personal perspective, it's not fact in medical science books as of yet. But I firmly believe that there are more intersex people than males and females on this planet. That's what I firmly believe. So I don't understand why anybody is going around trying to equally segregate the different segments of planet intersex, such as people who are just simply not born as normal, where's the fingers, normal males, yeah, or I'll do it here, or normal males or normal females, yeah. There are more intersex people than those stereotypical male and stereotypical female types, and this person that is talking about Kallmanns syndrome, people not being intersex, is the same person who's complaining about one person who has Kallmanns syndrome, who segregates intersex people and transgender people, transsexual people. Okay, and I argue with this person. I am friends with this person. This Kallmanns syndrome person I am friends with. I communicate with that person. I do not reject his views completely. Some of his views are actually very good, but not pertaining to the segregation of intersex and transsexual. I think there is an obvious line there naturally between intersex people and transsexual people. There's a huge difference there. Basically, intersex people are born naturally as a different type of human being to the stereotypical male and the stereotypical female, and transsexual people in general are people who are deciding to choose to change supposed stereotypical male to supposed stereotypical female, and so because the Kallmanns syndrome person has got a reputation of always trying to separate intersex and transsexual, and I always argue with him on instant message, but argue in the way that I'm not saying, oh no, you're not right there. I'm more like, well, listen, I don't agree with that. Let's discuss that in depth, nitty gritty. Let's really discuss every single nitty gritty issue on that level, on that subject, because it is a complicated issue. This whole segregation business. Now you notice in Europe, if anybody's been to Europe, Europe is much more free on the level of male and female integration. Most schools are mixed in most of Europe, and not all, but most. And also in Germany here, if you go to a swimming pool or something like that, or a recreational place where there's dressing rooms, they have dressing rooms, but they're not segregated into male and female lanes, that males go to the left and females go to the right. It's all the one, and I think that's much more healthier. So there are huge issues in what I'm discussing here, and one of the issues is ultimately we're all people, we're all human beings, and if we could stop categorizing ourselves as males and females, it would make just things much more simpler. And instead it's so complicated because the labels are too simplified, such as the stereotypical male label and the stereotypical female label. Just categorizing people, human beings, into two categories is pure nuts in this day and age, pure craziness, pure ignorance. If people who listen to videos such as this, or just generally know about all the types of people who have been represented in films, transsexuals, transvestites, homosexuals, not too much intersex, but with the new XXY movie, that definitely shows intersex situation. Then you've also got Trans America was a very good film. You've got Priscilla Queen of this I forget the name of Priscilla Queen of the Desert, isn't it? You've got The Crying Game. There's so many films where there's that sort of stuff going on, and now all of those sorts of categories of people, like drag queens, transvestites, she-males, stuff like that, and then again me, XXY chromosomes, intersex, natural lesbian, basically, instead of categorizing all of them as all of those labels, why not just call these people people, and stop this segregation, even stop the labeling of intersex, transsexual. Now, this is in the future, people. This is in the future we're thinking about. We're looking forward to a better future, right? I mean, most people on this planet are looking forward to a better future. They're looking forward to a world where it's as compassionate as we are, the people who are compassionate already. And there's so many of us, but yet we've lived a lifetime, most of us, with a feeling of hope that keeps getting trampled on, because basically the bad, the evil, the assholes of the world have taken over for at least 10, if not 15 years, if not more, like in a serious way. But still the good, there's so many good people and so much good in the world, so much possibilities of positivity, that I really believe that we are the stronger force. We need to believe that, trust in that, have faith in that, and to work together to create better harmony between peoples. Okay, and if we continue to segregate people, and start of the video I mentioned that this person is talking about Kallmanns syndrome is not intersex. His own topic and theme is the same as mine, XXY, klinefelters syndrome, and we both segregate XXY with klinefelters syndrome, whereas the medical textbooks would put that as one together. That if you are XXY, you've got klinefelters syndrome. If you've got klinefelters syndrome, you're XXY chromosomes. And both me and this person are probably the only people on YouTube who are vocally trying to make a segregation there, and not even a segregation, it's more like a deletion. Delete klinefelters syndrome altogether, as a syndrome, because it's too vague. Not every person with XXY chromosomes has got klinefelters syndrome. Yet, if you were to read a medical textbook, such as the doctors, if they were to read a medical textbook, such as if a patient comes into a doctor's office and the doctor has never really heard too much about klinefelter syndrome or being XXY chromosomes, of course the doctor's going to look in the medical textbooks. He's going to see that, and sorry for mentioning he's going to see that. Didn't mean to put a sex on the doctor, yeah, no, I can't remember the point now, but the reality is it's too constrictive when we keep labels that simply do not match up the person that we're labeling. And so if you're going to label people just as a queer male or a queer female, or queer is also the wrong word to be using in conjunction with homosexuals for a start, because queer means kind of weird and off shape, right? And that just doesn't fit. As much as a lot of gay people like even the word queer, that's fine. It's like African or brown people calling themselves nigger. It's exactly the same thing. And here's another example, just make it even more controversial. It's like the Nazis, the neo-Nazis here in Germany, just the people who are just still stuck in the past, you know. They also love to be called Nazis, you know. But nobody's a Nazi, and nobody's a nigger, and nobody's a queer, you know. Just, we've moved on, and it's going to take time before the educational books and things like that move on from the past. Education, please, you know. We've got to move on. We've got to advance ourselves in actually the information available, and that totally changes the world. But it totally changes the world into good, because there's so much good on this planet, and we need to be better. We need to be better at being good, and gooder, more good than ever. So please spread the information, people of good. Ciao.